We've got a head-to-head here, folks. So we do this on occasion every once in a while. Just happen to get both of these books in relatively short order here. So we've got Wraith of God over here, and we've also got Dracula, a Wraith of God from Aaron Lopresti, Dracula from actually a descendant of Bram Stoker Dracula. That would be Clint Stoker. Yes, indeed, a sweet cast out there. So we're going to go ahead put these head to head. We'll do a quick review of both of them, and then see which one comes out on top here. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Yes, indeed. So you got two different covers here. I think the first one was Donald DeLay, if Bear remembers correctly out here. And of course, we've got Kelsey Shannon out here as well. So, two great covers. Bear ended up getting the Kelsey Shannon cover. But the other cover, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. The only, I don't want to say downside to it, but the only kind of difference between Wraith of God and Dracula, Dracula is in black and white. Let me bring that up here. Dracula is in black and white, and of course, Wraith of God, great colors from the, I hope I pronounced it right, Gabe Etlab out there. I hope I got that right. Some good stuff from him as well, but kind of just the basic difference there between the two. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into Dracula. You see that here on the screen here. So basically, Clint Stoker is trying to do a sort of modern update to his, what was it, his great nephew, third time remove or something like that. Yeah, Bram Stoker out there. So he's doing a modern day update of some of that out there. No beer, ye butchered it. Uh oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, the Gabe. Oh, I'm just gonna say Gabe. That's Gabe. We're not even going to try that. Mr. Gabe out there. So some great stuff here from Clint Stoker, and of course Donald DeLay out here. Very good story. He did a really good job with the update of everything there. Let's see. Just go ahead and kind of do a sort of a quick overview of it. You've got what was his name? John Harker out here is kind of your main character. He's trying to get eloped with his a beautiful bride to be out there. Proposes to her, and of course is interrupted very quickly by her. I want to say brother. It might be her cousin. Is trapped in jail. Unfortunately, he saw some things out there, people. So he goes to check it out and everything. John Harker is a lawyer, so he goes there to kind of help out his love out there. So he goes there. Breaks not breaks out. Bonds out. Oh gosh, I don't remember the guy's name there, but the brother out there, kind of an interesting hairstyle. He's got the sorts of spiky hairstyle, which made it really easy to tell his character. The John Harker slash Dracula characters, they look very similar to each other. Anyways, takes the wife and of course the hanging along brother to a dinner out there. Ends up meeting a Dracula who invites him to a party out there of his own, with a bunch of beautiful ladies of his own there, kind of as a, what was that movie? The Eyes Wide Shut movie? Kind of a Eyes Wide Shut kind of theme to it. So they're kind of having a sort of mask ball, and hijinks ensue. Hijinks ensue out there, and John Harker and of course, brother and his lovely bride to be have to flee the scene before Dracula drinks all their blood. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Once again, us Canadians get our Dracula comic last. Well, I apologize about that. It's a very good book out there. A little bit short. I forget how many pages this is. I want to say like 48 pages or something like that. I wish that maybe it had a little bit more pages to it. I wish that it had a little bit more explanation on some of the scenes. You see the young lady here with the, I guess, pentagram out there. Uh, she had her own story. You had Dracula's story going on. You had the John Harker lovely bride to be story going on. And of course, you've got the brother in law story, a brother in law to be story out there as well. So, kind of. That would be four different storylines there. Needed maybe a couple more pages out there. Jiminy corrects Bear here. Gabe L. Taib. We'll get to that in just a minute here. Thank you, Jimmy. Very nice, but yeah, just needed a couple more pages, maybe to kind of bring together a couple of the different themes that they had there. A spoiler alert at the very end. John Harker has to go on the run. There was some detectives, I suppose, after him. It was very quickly kind of done at the very end. I wish that there was a little bit more. Bear might have to go back and reread some of that stuff. But yeah, really good, a really great artwork. You mean black and white? Bear tried. He tries. I tell you what. Hey, you try speaking Bear. It's very hard. Uh, Very stark, kind of as a sort of, as you see, kind of a black and white, kind of a stark contrast there. Great in some panels. Some of the other panels may not have been that. It might have needed a little bit more work. Beer would have loved to have seen this in color. This would have done, whether Kelsey did it or not. This really needed some color, or maybe something along the lines of who's doing that? Is it Elliot Fernandez that's doing the black and white comic, the Doom Kicker comic? But every once in a while, in some of the panels, he'll have some color in there. So, like for example, Dracula drinking blood or something. It would have been good to have a little bit of red color in there. They have It'll come up in just a second. They'll have the different brides of Dracula there. They sort of look somewhat similar, so you might want to have maybe a different color hair or maybe different eye color or something like that. Just kind of tell them apart. Also, Dracula and Mr. Harker, especially when they're in the same panel or kind of panel back to back, they look very similar. So I wish that there was a little bit of a difference, maybe color, maybe something else there that allowed the reader to kind of tell a little bit of a difference there. But otherwise, a really great book, a really great Dracula tale. Kind of moves along pretty quickly and everything. It doesn't really hang or slow, even though there's the different storylines that you have there. A really good book. I would recommend it for anybody, including P Money. I hope he finally gets it. We do need a underground railroad for comic books into Canada there. That would help. That would help indeed. There we go. There is the Wraith of God, or Wrath of God, if you prefer. A very interesting book. Gosh, I can't remember how many pages it was. Much thicker than Dracula. I'd probably say twice the amount of page. I want to say it's 70, 78, 79 pages. He's got a number of pages in the back, so I don't know if there's count, but probably double the size of Dracula. Let's see, a Wraith of God. Let's go ahead and try to figure out a way to kind of explain the Wraith of God. Kind of interesting. Bear's greatest hits? Yes, indeed. What a beautiful singing voice. Ha 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 ha. You flatter. You flatter, Bear. No, it's not. Not exactly. Bear single win. Many moons from now. Let's see. P-Money says, "Oh, I keep forgetting to tell you my work. Got a therapy dog, and they named it a bear. Every time I see the dog, I sing bear, 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 bears. Box openings. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So there you go. Very cool. Very cool. All right. This gets Bear totally distracted. We are going to do a review of Wraith of God. Yes, indeed. We're going to do a bigger, kind of more fuller review of Wraith of God. Kind of a overview of it here, real quick. So just kind of keep your eyes and ears out for another review of Wraith of God. But Aaron Lopresti's a great book. You know, a lot of people are actually talking about Wraith of God. I the one that Beer forgot to hit record on to do the HDR video. We were doing it, just kind of looking through it. I says, this is a really good book. This might be kind of a book of the year for CG out there. I want to wait until the end of the year just to make sure, but it is definitely up in the contention there. Probably is the best book so far this year. So the number of stuff that Bear has here might be a little bit of a nitpicky, but don't want to take away from the fact that it's a great book out here. So Let's see the review. Let's just kind of do an overview of it. Let's see. The Wraith of God is kind of a the best way Bear can kind of describe it. I don't know if many people saw the movie Dark Man. Jeff Fahey. Oh gosh, the Spider Man guy. Sam Raimi kind of did a. He was trying to do a comic book movie, but they wouldn't let him get one of the rights to one of the whatever comic he was trying to do. So he did a movie called Dark Man, kind of a who was it? Liam Neeson. He did. Was it Liam Neeson or was it Jeff Fahey? Maybe Jeff Fahey was the one of the bad guys there. Anyways, kind of a master of disguise. He gets horribly burned with like acid or something like that. Um, horribly burned, so he becomes kind of a master of disguise to take revenge against those who wronged him. Pretty similar to a Wraith of God, I would say. Wraith of God is Dark Man with kind of a sort of religious sort of connotations to it there. So a very interesting book there. The Wraith kind of is on a mission from God, if you will. Not to do any Blues Brothers stuff, but to get rid of werewolves. You see the Dale Keown werewolf out there. Pretty cool. Uh, get rid of a number of werewolves that are terrorizing the Wild West. And so he's going traveling the Wild West. On the trail of these werewolves, there is a sort of MacGuffin in the form of an amulet. Amulet. It's not it's not the one that you eat. It's the one that you wear around the neck there. The amulet. The MacGuffin out there that he has to go out and find. Gets in some battles there with some of the werewolves. They change shape, so during the full moon out there, they're the werewolves, but during the day, they're normal people. So he has to kind of do an investigation to go kind of find out who is who and what is what. So let me see if I can get to. Let's see. There we go. Oh, there was the covers. There we go. There's some pages there for you good people. Let's see. Sam Raimi wanted to make the movie. Liam Neeson just started. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Let's see. He wanted to do Shadow. That's right. The Shadow, but ended up doing a Dark Man instead. Well, Jiminy with the knowledge out there. Thank you, sir. Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson. Who did I say? Did I say Leslie Nielsen? That would have been an interesting movie out there as well. Anyways, the Wraith of God here, he's taking on the evil out there with a little bit of help from I guess you would say a unrequited love out there. Her name is Esther. He's trying to kind of help protect her, but also kind of keep his identity a little bit secret. Esther kind of just goes along with it because the Wraith uh, helped save her life one time, so she kind of takes that as a sign of God. So she kind of goes along with the Wraith. A little bit of trouble, kind of a little bit of consternation between the two, and kind of brings to the head at the very end of the book. There's some kind of interesting stuff, but yeah, the Wraith. He's going out there trying to find the werewolves, trying to keep the amulet out of. What is it? Amulet. Um, gosh, what do you call that? The a necklace. We'll just call it a necklace. Anyways, trying to get the MacGuffin out of the werewolf's hands. Um, and also, he kind of does kind of a master of disguise. He's trying to do it a little bit sly, a little bit undercover, so he doesn't have this sort of dark man look the entire time. Dark man with two six shooters out there, pretty cool. Um, Pretty cool stuff out there. So, anyways, he defeats, or does he? He defeats the werewolves out there, and saves the day. Hashtag spoiler alert out there for all you good people. So a really good book out there. And let's see, probably one of the best things about the entire campaign is the way that not only how it came out. Aaron does some um, great artwork. In fact, let me go to the kind of interesting stuff where he would kind of go through some of the panels there. Then you would add the color into it as well. So he did a really good job, not only with the artwork, pencils and inks. The colors, the writing is great. Bear has a couple minor issues with the writing there, but really great. Probably one of the better written Comicsgate books out there. Did a really good job with all of that. One of the best things, though, was the way that Aaron kind of ran his campaign. Not only did he keep everybody kind of up to date, letting everybody know what's going on with the campaign, usually with probably an update every week. I know the campaign took a while, a little bit, it might have been a little bit over a year, if Beer remembers correctly. So it took a little bit of a while, but Aaron was right there along, just saying, okay, here, elaborate. Oh, for crying out loud. Anyways, Aaron did a really good job with that, and it actually came out relatively, probably, I think it came out on time, or if it was late, it was just a hair late or something like that. So Aaron did a really great job. Also had some great. Let me see. Let me find it. Did I bring it in here? Did I not bring it? Oh, for crying out loud! I did not. Let's see. Is that it? No, that's not it. Had a number of swag that he has as well. So he had a Ace of Spades playing card if you wanted to have that. A couple other nicer cards there as well that he had. So some nice extras. I think you could also get a shot glass. As well, if you want to get a shot glass, but yeah, very cool, very great campaign. He did a really great campaign, ran it really well, did the promotion really well. You probably saw it maybe on Ethan's channel or some of the other channels out there. So he did a really good job. Let's see, probably two, and again, this is one of the better written books out here. So some of the stuff that Bear's going to say is probably more nitpicky than anything else here. First thing up, compared to Dracula, Dracula basically took place within a day. I think they had the preview pages that we were talking about earlier might have taken place, a day before, and I think the epilogue stuff took place a day after, so maybe 3 days total. But relatively short time frame. Wraith, um, both good and bad, took place over a much longer time period, which means that you had a bunch of flashbacks and flash forwards. Um, Bear isn't against doing the flashbacks and flash forwards. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the first couple of pages of the Wraith of God. Uh, great intro. What happens when you break that up with a flashback? After this scene or sequence here, there's a flashback to some of the stuff, I believe, with Esther. Or no, excuse me, it flashes forward to the next city where they're going to be taking place. The majority of the book's going to take place. So what happens there is you're really into the moment, and then all of a sudden it takes you out of it. And you start to get back into it, whatever the new time shift is. But that happened multiple times where you start to get into something, and then all of a sudden, okay, we got a flashback to the origin story of Esther, origin story of the Wraith, or what happens kind of in between some of that stuff. That kind of took Bear out of it just a little bit, and it took a little bit of time just to kind of, oh, okay, that's what they're talking about. Let's go back to it. That sort of deal. I think Aaron did a really good job of that. I would have liked to have seen maybe, like for example, they're taking out the I guess what would you call that? Criminals out here, the outlaw gang. I would have liked to have maybe had that just take place over a shorter period of time, or maybe kind of transpose some of the gang member stuff to the town that they're in. What was the town's name? I want to say Calamity or something like that. It started with a C. Um, I wish that it would have probably taken place over a shorter time period because they jump ahead like 3 or 4 months or something like that after this scene here. So maybe compress it down a little bit more. Dracula did a really good job of that with just having it take place within a day, so it kind of literally where it's kind of before and after that sort of deal. So Wraith kind of jumps around a little bit. It makes sense at the end of the story. It just kind of took a beer out of it, kind of in the initial kind of read through of it. So that's kind of the one thing that kind of Bear had. as far as Wraith goes, the story wise. Uh, wish that maybe let's see, what was Bear going to say? Oh, Bear lost his train of thought here. That's the most horrible thing that Bear could do. But anyways, let's go back to the. Let me go back to it here. Kind of a head-to-head. We like to do. Oops, let me get rid of this. I get rid of you people. There we go. We kind of do a head-to-head. So we're putting up the Wraith of God versus a Dracula here. Which book is? They're both great books. Go check out both books. They great for a Halloween a gift for somebody out there. You've got werewolves versus Draculas out there. Kind of does whatever you approve of, whatever one you think of. The only downside, the probably the one biggest downside that we have with Dracula here, not only is it needed a couple more pages just to kind of flesh a couple of the things that flesh it out the story wise. I wish that it was in color, or at least some of the portions of Dracula was in color. Like if Dracula took a bite of the neck, you would see some red blood or something like that. Wraith did a really great job with the colors out there. Um, might have just shortened it. Just I think it's a really good read. I think it reads really well. It wasn't overly long or anything like that. Just wish that maybe some of this stuff might have gotten taken a look at and maybe says, okay, do we really need this? Could we, maybe do some of the Esther stuff later or something like? I wish that it might have been just a little bit tighter story wise, but these are very minor issues that Bear had. Just some of the time jumps that it kind of took Bear out of. But other than that, great artwork, great story, great coloring, all that sort of stuff. I would say Bear's opinion here would be Wraith just by a hair, just by the hair on Bear's arm there. Both pretty comparable books out there. You're going to enjoy both books, regardless of of which book you get. And if you get both of them, well, I tell you what, you're just in Bear heaven out there. I'm trying to do the thumb, but for crying out loud, there we go, missing the claw. So, anyways, both good books, but Wraith of God is getting the thumbs up. The thumbs up from Bear. Yes, indeed. Humans, thank you for watching this video. If you wish to have more, please like and subscribe. And don't forget that bell for notification. It would please Bear very much. You don't want to see Bear bad, do you? Grrrrr.